Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Offsetting Penalties, where two penalties send you back 5 yards, but two people make a great show. I am your host, Big C. I'm joined by my co-host, RC. And RC, can you tell them what division we're going to jump into today?
What?
Tell them what division we're going to jump into today.
Oh yes, we're gonna go into the AFC East first, and then we're gonna go team by team, 4 teams in the AFC East. We're gonna go through each of them, say what we think about them, about how they did last season. We're gonna grade them, and then we're going to go into maybe one move they can make to make them team better or something like that. I don't know. We're gonna roll with it. One thing I gotta say before we get into this episode, we're back. It's been a while, but we're finally here. What I gotta say is, the thumbnail, the AI thumbnail, we're not gonna do that ever again. That's not happening again. Also, I will be wearing a hat until my hair grows back out. That's just gonna happen. This hat's gonna be on, and then until it goes back. But until then, this is gonna stay with me. But I'm excited to get into these divisions. There's 8 divisions in total in the NFL. So this is the first one we're gonna do. All right. The first team we're gonna go into is the New York Jets. Big C, tell me the record and how you thought about the first.
They were 3-14, one of the worst teams in the league. But I just think, the Jets, terrible season, all around. Fields was getting injured. They lost their two best defensive players, Quinn Williams to the Dallas Cowboys. I'm pretty sure for 2 first-round picks, and then another bunch of picks for Sauce Gardner. Yeah, so they lost 2 big pieces throughout the regular season before the trade deadline, and they really didn't know actual moves during the trade deadline. I guess they're just trying to get picks to kind of rebuild their team. They do have a former Rookie of the Year, Garrett Wilson. So I wonder where he's going to go, if he's going to end up anywhere. Are they going to keep him for the future? They also have Brees Hall. He can go some places as well. Yeah, the defense is shot. Offense, quarterback is terrible. So they just got to work a lot of things around. And, this is obviously one of those teams that's going to take, at least a quick 5-year rebuild before we can actually start seeing them as one of the better teams in the league. Just because I think the Jets have been so bad for so long that, they've been trying to do some things with the defense, but I've seen that. I think they're trying to blow it up now.
Yeah. Actually, I basically echo everything you just said. I agree with you. One thing I gotta say is, if you had to grade them, what would be the grade for the New York Jets
I
last season?
think, well, they got a lot of picks, and obviously they have a really good pick since 3-14. I think I would give them out of like F to S, like a D minus.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah, I basically that too. So F being the worst and S being Super Bowl, the person who wins Super Bowl, and these team lands at the D tier. So put them over here. Well, also, if you could, just hypothetically, this is a good idea sent in by one of the viewers of the show. If you could take one player from the Jets to add to your favorite team, which is the Chiefs, who would it be?
Looking at the Jets roster here, they got a lot of good guys. Will McDonald would be pretty good, but honestly, man, I gotta say that they have a few decent players, but I feel like it's really between Will McDonald, Brees Hall, and Garrett Wilson. I feel like those players, you could consider them best on the team. So I'll give it to Brees Hall because I feel like we have a really big need at running back. We're probably going to fill up the receiver spot really good this year. So I think that having an explosive young running back at that age with the potential that he has, I think would be really good for our team. So I'd probably go with Brees Hall.
Yeah, I would actually go with Brees Hall too. We have Kareem Hunt. He's just old, and Pacheco's getting worse. So yeah, Brees Hall would be a great team. Well, great player to add from the Jets to the Chiefs. All right, the Jets are the bottom of the tier. Next team is the Miami Dolphins. Big C, tell me what you know. Tell me what you think. What's going on with them?
All right, so the Dolphins. Yeah, okay. So the Dolphins were 7-10 last year, third in the AFC East. So Tua got injured. But I think that 7-10 is again middle of the pack, below average, of course, because obviously -3. But I think the thing with this team is they got a lot of good pieces. I think Achan is a really, really solid piece. Waddle needs to get back in the mix of things. You know, he was dealing with some injuries as well. Their offensive line is really shaky. You know, they got two rookies on their offensive line that, you know, played. So I think if you just got to some better protection, this can be a good team. But we all knew this team, you know, the best hopes was like a divisional, right? So honestly, you might want to just kind of blow it up and kind of get some guys out of there because you know Tua's kind of been regressing a little bit, and that could be an option that they could explore because they got a lot of young good pieces that they could get rid of, or you can just try to go for like a young quarterback. You know, try to upgrade from Tua, or I mean, you could probably keep. I mean, they're probably gonna keep him, just you know, test him out because it wasn't that long ago that he was, you know, one of the best quarterbacks. It seems like it's been a long time ago, but it really wasn't. So I think there's a lot of options for the Dolphins, and they're not in the worst spot ever.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, you don't want to stay. You don't want to sit in that mid territory where you're like the Falcons. I think they should just try to go in a new direction away from Tua. Just he's done. In my opinion, I just don't think there's much upside to anymore. And then they got rid of Tyreek Hill, and so the coach says too. So the Jets, I'm sorry, the Dolphins. If you had to grade them this season, what would you grade them?
Probably a C.
Yeah, I probably just go with a regular C. I think they're just a little better. C minus. I mean, it's just a mid team in total. The Dolphins are going to sit in that lowly tier for now until they go better. Oh, also, if you could take one player from the Dolphins to the Chiefs, who would it be?
I think it's no question. I'll take Achan.
I mean, we never. I guess you just love running backs now. Yeah, yeah,
I do.
yeah.
I mean,
That's good.
those
Yeah.
two running backs are very good, but especially Achan. He's so explosive and fast. I did seen a lot of his games. How he's able to catch out of the outfield and you know the screens and stuff. We could definitely use that. Honestly, I would really like to have Achan on our team. Obviously his value is incredibly high, but in this hypothetical, getting him would just make our offense so more explosive. Pretty much like a Tyreek Hill, but at the running back position, which would be pretty crazy. Yeah, I think that
I
would be amazing.
Yeah, you're right. That JH is a force to be reckoned with. He's speedy. All right. Well, the Dolphins are going to sit down here, and the next team up is going to be the Buffalo Bills. The Bills, had a disappointing playoff run, for my opinion. The Bills just, I put my chips in them this season. They had the path to the Super Bowl. Most of Josh Allen's rivals weren't in even the playoffs, and he got bounced out by the Broncos. And we can debate on how bad he really had the game, if he had a good game or not, or something like that. But just disappointing for his team, for him and his team. I mean, it's getting worse and worse every single season. Like, man, like how many playoff explosions, how many playoff devastations can you have for one team, bro? Like, man, because this team has so much talent. It's just like even in the rushing game too. James Cook had a great season, too. But I mean, the Bills just fizzled out in the playoffs, and it's a Super Bowl bust for them because they don't talk. They cannot just sit in the divisional round in the AFC Championship round anymore. They need to go for the Lombardi, and they didn't get that this time. Big C, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much said everything that needed to be said. I think that Buffalo again is another one of those teams where if they really go all out, they can go far. But I think now is the time where you gotta make some changes. Things have to change. You can't be stuck in this bubble. It's like you know the mid team that's always like hovering around 8 and 9, 9 and 8, and trying to sneak into the playoffs. They're like that, but like for the division, right? They're always
Dang.
in, they're always out. They're trying to get above. Sometimes they do a little better. Sometimes they do a lot of times they do a lot worse. But they're always kind of hovering around there. And I feel like changes have to happen if you really want to go farther. You could just keep, you know, battle ramming it straight in with Josh Allen every time. But I feel like that's a bad decision. One, because you're, you know, draining him out, you know, running him down. But also because it seems this season was more proven than ever because you didn't even lose to Patrick Mahomes that things need to change if you want to win. If you would have made the Super Bowl this year or AFC Championship game, it would have been a little bit more, you know, believable that this team can win it all. But when you're losing in the divisional without Mahomes, Burrow, Jackson, right, and they're at their peak powers, then you just didn't deserve to even like, you know, participate in any of the championship or Super Bowl games. So I do think they need to make some changes. But as for the overall grade, I mean, it's hard to knock them with, I mean, nearly an MVP. I
There's a
think
lot.
I would
Wait,
probably
wait,
give
wait.
them.
Let me guess. Like a
Yeah, I
A
kind of.
minus.
I mean, if you told me in the beginning of the season that they would lose in the divisional, I believe you.
I mean, if you would have told me they lose a division, I'm like, okay, it makes sense. They probably lose against a strong team, like maybe a up and coming, other upcoming team like.
The Lakers were very up and coming this year.
Yeah, maybe the Patriots too. I mean, they could have lost to them too, but like them losing to the Broncos, like that's unbelievable. But I mean, I'm gonna give them probably like it seems harsh, but like, what do you think? What do you think? Well, I'm gonna say yours first in mine.
I would probably give them a B plus.
That's it. I'm gonna give that to yeah. I give B plus. I'm sorry. You cannot have an A if you
Okay, so like S tier is for the
Super Bowl.
like the Super Bowl guys. A
No,
tier like A
no.
plus is for
S tier is for Super Bowl winner. S is for Super Bowl. The A is for just the elite teams that are like the best right there, like the top 4, top 5, top 6 teams. I don't think these are the top 16. These guys just embarrassed themselves. I mean,
they're a
that's
B
so
plus,
annoying.
I think so.
It's like, yeah, B plus, B plus. I'm sorry, Bills, B plus. All right, well, they're like, we're making changes. We're getting a new stadium, guys. They fired Sean McDermott. Man, come on, man, come on. Like he's the issue. Get him out of here. He's got to go.
This is the change I was talking about, bro. They need to come in looking like a different team.
All right, sure. All right, and the last team for this
right now isn't working.
And the last team for this division is the New England Patriots. Yeah, the New England Patriots came off a 14-win season. They made the Super Bowl, and they had
free with one vote off MVP.
Yeah,
stats all around from everybody, and
also
they
had a pretty easy. Yeah, they had a pretty easy walk to the playoffs. Yeah, they just did that. It's crazy. That's crazy.
Fun fact: so you know Christian Gonzalez, how good he was doing in all the playoff games.
Yeah,
he didn't have a single interception all year.
Because no one's throwing his way. Because no one's throwing his way. That's why.
True. That's very true, actually.
Lockdown. This is the no-fly zone.
Yeah,
no one's throwing there.
Drake made it look good. He did. In the Super Bowl, I mean, he kind of throws it out, only scored really in the fourth quarter, but I'd rather him score his 17 points in the fourth quarter than any other quarter, right?
Yeah. The Patriots. Man, because like the Super Bowl, there wasn't a lot to talk about, especially because in the first half there's like 12 points, all scored by Jason Myers, and then at the end of that it was just a beating. And the Patriots, I mean, they're still a great team. They need some much needed upgrades. And then Drake May still needs time to develop. He still needs time to fully rise. He's gonna be there in the playoffs to come. Just like Jaden Daniels, he's gonna come back too. Roaring. The Washington and the Patriots both have something to look forward to in the upcoming seasons. All right, well,
we didn't pick anyone from Buffalo.
Great. Oh, it's bad. Pick someone in Buffalo. Big C.
James Cook.
All the running backs. Give me all the running backs. Me too.
100 yards, 12 touchdowns, averaging 5 yards a carry.
Yes, run the ball. Yes, 1940s. Well, yes,
for the Patriots. I mean, obviously we already have a quarterback, so for the Patriots, it's going to be a lot more difficult. I would probably say with our needs, it's kind of tough to argue against wanting like a Stephon Diggs, you think?
Christian Gonzalez is not out there?
Probably. Oh, yeah, I forgot we're going to lose. Probably going to lose McDuffie this year. I'd probably take Gonzalez because...
Yeah.
If we don't lose McDuffie, then probably Diggs, right?
I don't know. I just don't like Diggs. The Diggs pick. He keeps on losing in playoff games. He keeps on losing in playoff games. And he keeps saying like this at the end of it. He goes like his hands on his hip, looking at the scoreboard, like he's like, I should have done something. I should have stopped it. I should have played defense too. Anyways, Diggs. We don't want Diggs. We don't dig it. We don't dig that. All right, we're gonna switch it up. We're gonna go with Christian Gonzalez. That's what I'm gonna do at least. Throw this guy to the side. And that's enough for this AFC East division thing here. Oh, also a great Patriots.
I mean, the Patriots, right? That's S.
No, they didn't win the Super Bowl, so they can't be S for me.
They made the Super Bowl, so it's S.
No, they didn't win, so they're A plus for me. Anyways, the Patriots and the Bills and the Dolphins and the Jets. We got a great team on one side and the worst teams on the left side. So like, spectrum right there. All right, well.
All right, guys, that is going to be the end. I have our wisdom words of the day, and then we'll round it out. All right, guys, this wisdom words are from Psalms 37:4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. All right, guys, that's the whistle. We're going to go back into the game. Catch you next time.
No more AI.